Hey guys, Bice Bump here, bringing you this 10.1 Unholy Death Knight gear strategy guide. Today we'll talk about the best trinkets to equip in a new patch, the best crafts to get to acquire, as well as what to upgrade. I get a lot of questions. Obviously, we've got new embellishments in the new patch, we got new trinkets, and there's a lot of question about, what should you prioritize, what should you craft, what should you replace, and so on. So hopefully I will provide the insight you need to make the correct decisions as you move forward in the patch. Let's start with trinkets, right? So what are the trinkets to look out for? What should be the farm? That kind of thing, right? So for raid, we want Puzzle Box, right? That is not just now. Puzzle Box is biz in the next patch. If you haven't gotten the 415 or 421, if you EU, go out and get one. If you US and it's too late, I'm sorry. We currently don't know. So I'm making this today on the Monday, right? So we'll see tomorrow actually if you can upgrade a Puzzle Box like 411. I don't know currently if it drops, like which tier of the crafter system it drops from. The upgrade system, sorry, in Mythic 0 or in Heroic, so on. So you might actually be able to go and farm some M0 or Heroic to get the Puzzle Box and upgrade it. If that's not the case, it's kind of just tough luck because you're going to miss out on the entire patch. So sorry about that. Now, with the puzzle, we want to pair that with another unused trinket actually. The change to making Puzzle Box 30 seconds means that we can get a really nice 10-second overlap at the end of all of our cooldowns, right? There's a 20-second internal trinket CD, which means you use puzzle. After 20 seconds, you can use another trinket, and then you get those 10 seconds of like you got Puzzle Box and another buff, right? The best trinket to do this with is definitely Iridius Fragment, which I think drops from Halls of Infusion, if I'm not incorrect. Very good. That is a Mythic Plus trinket, so when we do hit the next patch, do make sure to prioritize farming that specific trinket because it's going to be biz for you the entire tier pretty much. We do have alternatives. You can run Vial of Animated Blood, drops from Underrot. It's also a solid kind of trinket to pair with Puzzle Box, and we used it in the same way. So Puzzle Box, we use that with Army. 20 seconds afterwards, right, we have 15 seconds of Gargle running there. You use your second trinket, and you get that 10-second overlap at the end. For Mythic Plus, I would definitely run Vial. The 1.5 minute cooldown is great for our burst windows, and I will combine that with something like what's the name again? The class trinket is kind of fine, not great, but it's fine. But you'd want to run Ominous Chromatic Essence, which drops from the raid. That combo for Mythic Plus, so Vial Animated Blood and then some passive trinket. That's going to be the best. Cool. So that's trinkets. Get your Puzzle Box, and then go and farm your Iridius Fragment, and you're going to be set. For crafter gear, we do have some changes coming in. So first of all, Elemental Lariat is getting nerfed quite heavily. Instead of just gaining a buff based on sockets you have, like in all your gear, it didn't matter like how many you had, but now it scales with the number of sockets. This obviously has an impact early in the tier because you're very unlikely to have lots of sockets around because you haven't been upgrading your gear with, like, if you get a bad vault, you obviously get a socket. So the number of sockets you have on your gear increases over time. So moving to new patch, Lariat is going to be much worse. It actually is nerfed enough, or there's now better alternatives. So Lariat will just not be BIS anymore. Instead, what we want is running the Shadow Flame patch. You can see it over here. Not sure if that's exactly what it's called. This is something you put on a Peter Plate gear, and it's like by far the best single target throughput. So the base setup when it comes to crafter gear is going to be having the belt and the boots both being plate crafted with this new Shadow Flame patch. Right? That doesn't mean that you should necessarily go out and craft belt and boots instantly and upgrade those. Let's talk about upgrades soon, but I'm just saying that don't immediately go out and craft something, because I think it's very important to have a look at what you actually do loot from running Plus and so on to actually figure out what the best upgrade path is for you personally. And we'll discuss like how to think in those terms now in the next section when it comes to upgrades. So new patch, there's a new upgrade system, which is relatively convoluted, as in it's not very straightforward. You will loot these crests every week. There's a cap when it comes to looting crests, and you have like multiple different tiers. In the highest tier, that can be used to upgrade Mythic Plus gear to 441, and it can also be used to upgrade Crafter gear to 447. So distinctly similar to how Valor worked in this patch, Crafter gear can go to a higher item level than Mythic Plus gear. Now, the idea is generally, when we go into the patch, what you want to do is you want to replace your Lariat and essentially get a Shadow Flame patch quite quickly. However, that is not a given path, because there's an alternative where you actually craft a weapon first. The best weapon comes from a raid, final boss has a special effect, and when you get that in Mythic, it's going to be better than everything else. But at 441, so if you get it from Heroic, that's going to be roughly the same as a crafted weapon. So realistically, you can craft a weapon, and then that's going to be like your bis almost entire tier. That's not like something you should do immediately though. First of all, you can't craft a weapon next week. You have to wait another week before you actually got the sparks to do it. You need 2 sparks to do it. And it's not necessarily the kind of best DPS upgrade per spark. I think, alright, so my general guidance is go out and try and farm Mythic Plus until you get a good weapon drop. You then go out and craft a set of boots with a Shadow Flame patch to replace your Lariat. Recrafting your belt is not as high priority because the belt embellishment, the Frostfire one we have is quite good already, but eventually you're going to want to replace that as well. But still, my first priority would be to kind of replace the Lariat with the boots, but I'm also going to hold off to that because I feel like if I go the entire week without looting a solid weapon, I might actually save my spark and then go for a 447 weapon next week. It depends like when you want to maximize your DPS throughput, because you know, if you get a good belt, for instance, you get some good boots and whatever, actually crafting those Shadow Flame patches might not be that good value, and you might end up in a situation where the weapon is for sure your best upgrade. So generally, try and hold off so you can actually figure out, okay, what is the best craft I can make per spark I get, so I don't end up wasting the spark or not getting enough efficiency, right? Also, I feel like I need to mention this. Obviously, when you do crafter gear, you can choose the stats you put on them. You should pretty much always pick Haste Mastery as Unholy DK. It's just by far the best stat we have. We love Haste, and Mastery is solid, so always go for Haste Mastery in your crafter gear. When it comes to upgrades, that's another thing. So for upgrading a piece of crafter gear, that takes 4 of the best crests you can get, which you get from High Mythic Plus and from raiding at Mythic, I believe. Not 100% sure about, but it's the best ones, right? It takes 4 of them to upgrade. You can also use those crests to upgrade other pieces of gear. And the same thing applies here. So what you want to do, the ideal scenario, if you want to be proper about it, is go out, you simulate your character, you figure out, okay, how much DPS upgrade is upgrading my crafted piece versus upgrading another piece, eye level by eye level, right? And you figure out, okay, so what's the upgrade per crest? It takes 4 crests to upgrade a crafted piece, right? What's the DPS gain per crest there? And then look at, right, maybe rings are better. Rings are usually quite good to upgrade due to how the stats work. Maybe I should craft a ring. That's also a potential one. I mean, saying that there's no easy, I always follow this path. It's all about looking at your own gear, making the correct decisions when it comes to being economic with both your crests and your sparks, right? It all comes back to, right, simulate your character, figure out what is best for you in this instance. Think about, do I want to be good now? Do I want to be good long term? When do I want to peak? That kind of thing. So about the rambling there, it is difficult to kind of figure out what is best for you, but hopefully that makes sense. So the general recommendation is to hold off on crafting, but ideally replace your Lariat by crafting a set of boots, and then for next upgrade, look at crafting maybe a belt or potentially a ring. Or craft a weapon if you end up being really unlucky and you want a big upgrade in the second week. Alright, leave a comment down below, let me know what you thought about this video. upvote, downvote, consider subscribing, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Thank you very much for watching.